Lesson 2. Confident Joy. Learned from Adina Friedman. Adina Friedman walked into the conference room with a few pieces of paper in one hand, a modest-sized box in the other, and a delightfully mischievous grin. She and I were the only people in the room, though that would soon change. As Chief Financial Officer of Carlyle, a public company that trades on the NASDAQ market, Adina was responsible for the integrity of the numbers that Carlyle presented to the marketplace every 3 months. This quarter, Carlyle's numbers were going to come in below Wall Street analyst expectations. We hadn't lost money, we just hadn't made as much profit as some people had hoped or predicted. To pump up fellow Carlyle executives and get them in the right mood as they prepared to read the earnings script and answer analyst questions on the call, Adina had brought a cheery secret weapon, white T-shirts with big smiley faces on them. I readily donned the happy face tee over my dress shirt and bow tie. It happened to be my birthday, so wearing a cheerful shirt made double good sense. Adina put hers on over her blouse. One by one, the C-suite entered the room. Carlyle's 3 co-founders, the chief operating officer, the head of investor relations, and the head of external affairs, who was my boss. The smiley face shirts Adina and I wore elicited chuckles from our colleagues. She offered a shirt to everyone, but no one else accepted. People weren't rude, nor did they explicitly say no. They just didn't put them on. I made a fleeting comment about levity and solidarity, but the group was focused on the task at hand. Adina didn't push it either. For a moment, I felt awkward sporting this shirt while the others abstained, though seeing Adina in her shirt gave me resolve. At the appointed time, we all took our seats around the conference table and launched into the earnings call. Tone matters, Adina told me. But what's really important to investors who are there with you for the long term is to demonstrate confidence in the strategy and strength of the firm overall as the team navigates through different environments. Adina's happy face T-shirts were a joyous distraction, but I view them as something much deeper, a sign of someone willing to think differently and act accordingly. Everyone declining to don a T-shirt could have prompted Adina to question herself. Instead, without missing a beat, she continued to wear the T-shirt proudly and proceeded with the serious business of the day. Peer pressure is an astoundingly powerful phenomenon, especially in a corporate setting. What to wear, when to speak, how much to diverge from the conventional wisdom. Since I was a teenager, I've tried to understand this social force, harnessing the good while avoiding the ill. Adina's T-shirt caper was a masterclass in managing peer pressure. She simply did what she wanted, something offbeat, but completely reasonable, and was outwardly unfazed by the tepid response. Does that mean she felt 100% secure? I've definitely had lots of moments in my life when I haven't felt confident inside, but you have to convey confidence on the outside, and that's a really, really important thing to learn how to do, Adina told me. But where did that confidence come from in the first place? I've been really fortunate in my life that my parents pushed me out of the nest really early, and pretty often. And so, it was a kind of sink or swim, Adina told me. They sent me to Portugal when I was 10, putting me on a plane, and there were no cell phones back then, so it was like, oh, good luck. Hopefully you'll find your grandparents when you get there. They did a lot to put me in a position of gaining confidence, and so, I think that carried forward, and as a result, I've always wanted to carve my own path. Adina's simple act of confident joy in an unorthodox setting strengthened my own resolve when it came to asking hard questions in public settings. At Carlyle employee town hall meetings, every 6 months or so, and annual partner meetings, colleagues rarely piped up during the Q&A sessions. Meanwhile, I asked so many questions that the host sometimes kicked off the Q&As by calling on me, even if I hadn't raised my hand. I knew I was onto something when people would thank me afterward for asking the tough questions that were on everyone's mind, but no one had the courage to ask. My response: I'm still employed, so it mustn't be as risky as people fear to hold power accountable.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.